Foundation, and we're here today with Sergio Gomez, who has his beautiful solo exhibition up called Coalescence. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your beautiful work in this space.
Absolutely. Thank you to our foundation, to Ingyong, and for having me here as well. Very excited to participate in what you guys are doing.
I guess we were just wondering, looking at all of this beautiful work, we wanted to know a little bit more about your process and this reoccurring theme of silhouettes.
So this particular show it uses the stencil, which you can see in the back here. So the stencil kind of helps with the repetition of the form, right? So the stencil is kind of like this repetitive aspect that starts in one spot and you just continue along. And for me, it also creates kind of a veil in that sense. And through that, create almost like a ghost-like figure. So my work is about the cycles of life. I've always been interested in what does it mean to go through life from birth to death. And I like to work in series. So this particular show is part of that series in which I'm kind of looking at repetition, those things that happen over and over in our lives. And I thought like using the stencil is one way of creating a visual repetition as well.
And so I noticed that a lot of these figures are kind of neutral and they're not very distinguishable. And do you think that plays in with like the universality and the secular nature of your work?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's a great comment. I like to make works that sometimes they start with myself, like the figures are my size. A lot of times they might be sometimes like my silhouette, but that's just a starting point. I like them to be universal, so then I remove all the characteristics that would make a person to be he or she, or to be from here or there, kind of removing that and just giving the essence of the figure, which I think that's what people identify with.
So it's kind of like a neutral figure that people can project their own ideas and identities onto.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of my work is about identity, who we are, what we do, and as we go through life, through the cycle of life and the repetitious things that happen in life.
So beautiful, and they're very
Thank
effective.
Thank you.
I was wondering more about the particular patterns you choose, and if they are meant to convey any like particular emotion or any particular sentiment, or if they're more there for aesthetic purposes.
The color or
the patterns.
Oh, the pattern. Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, I started experimenting with it, and I fell really in love with the visual appeal that it was giving me. And then, as I started to explore further, I thought, well, I think this is more than just the visual appeal. It also has the symbolic reference of the repetition of design, right? And these kind of cycles and repetitive aspects of it. And also, at the time of making the piece, that is very repetitious aspect, which is not very typical in my work. So I really had a great time kind of creating this whole series with the stencil. I had used stencils before, but usually as a single form. This is kind of like the first show where all the pieces kind of have this ongoing layer that is all about that symbol that repeats over and over.
So this is the first solo show you felt that really embodies that sort of recent concept.
It's the second one. It's the second one where I used it, which is really good,
Yeah. And so which one of these is your most recent work?
From the show here, I would say from this particular show, this one in the back of us, I finished it last year, before the year ended, and it showed first at ACS Gallery, and it just kind of one of those pieces that I wanted to do a large piece, and I love working with charcoal. A lot of my pieces start as a charcoal drawing. But on this one, instead of going with charcoal, working black on white, I actually did the reverse, starting with a black surface and then just painting over it on white. So for me, it was kind of also a way of switching the way I work, normally darkening the surface to kind of the other way around, lightening the surface of the things that I wanted to do. It's got a nest, which the nest for me continues to be a symbol that comes back and forth in my work over the years. And there's another piece here in the show also from early last year, which also has a nest, and that one there are eggs inside the nest. This one, the eggs are gone. So it's that process of life, right?
Right. So the bird outside on that piece.
Yeah.
I think it was window to the soul.
Yes.
Yes. So that is also representative of that circular life kind of theme that you've been going along with this nest and these eggs.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, the bird is to me is kind of a symbol also of freedom. You know, the bird begins in the nest and then gets out of the nest and then has to take that first flight, right? Which for me is kind of symbolic of also of our own life as we go through childhood, we depend on our parents, and we go through puberty, and then there comes a point in which like we take our own flight. So yeah, that piece kind of brings that idea of, you know, that spirit of freedom that we all kind of look towards in life. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the new direction that your work is taking.
Thank you.
I think the black field and the massive scale of it kind of makes me feel like I'm being immersed in this kind of plane that you've created, which is really unique and really compelling.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, I like to do large pieces that you can, you know, you can see them from afar, but also as you get closer, that they will still give you more as you get up close, and you know, so that you experience the piece from various points of view. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.